How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to my FIFA 17 Fulham career mode. This is episode 39 now, and in the previous episode we defeated Queen's Park Rangers in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup to secure our place at Wembley Stadium for an FA Cup semi-final. And that we will be taking on Aston Villa in a couple of episodes time. We also unfortunately suffered a defeat to the league leaders Manchester United, which means we've dropped off the pace a little bit, and as I mentioned in the previous episode, we'll turn our attentions mainly towards the FA Cup now, and we're just going to try and secure a European slot, whether that's Champions League or European or Europa League, I should say, within the league anyway. And obviously, but if we win the FA Cup, of course, we'll secure that anyway. A quick look at the calendar before we kick off in today's fixture. There is the game, of course, against Manchester United that we did end up losing 2-1, and just a few days later, we've got Manchester City, who are struggling. We then have Aston Villa in the Premier League, not in a cup match. So that'll be a good run. I think I'm probably going to play the rotation side more so against Aston Villa, depending on how the team are looking. And that'll sort of be a little bit of a test to see what we'll be coming up against in the FA Cup. Of course, it'll be a very different sort of fixture. City are, of course, struggling in the league also. They're currently down in about 11th place. Villa are in relegation, or hovering around relegation. I think they're currently out of relegation, actually. So, generally, we've got to be looking at picking up 6 points here today. I'm going to go and rest a couple of players, and then we'll jump into the team lineups at the start of the episode, and at the start of this game, and I'll run through them there and then. And so, here we go then. We are live from the Etihad Stadium for this Premier League fixture. Manchester City against Fulham. Last time, when we invited City down to our place, we did, of course, pick up a victory against them. And City, as we keep mentioning, they are struggling in the league. As you can see, they're currently down in 11th place. We are there in 3rd with a game in hand on Arsenal. And our league form's been slipping a little bit recently. A couple of draws, a couple of defeats, which has allowed Arsenal to come and overtake us and just start to build a bit of a gap. So we've got a game in hand on them, which I think will probably be the Villa game midweek. I've made a few changes to the lineup, which we'll see in just a moment. Despite that 2-1 defeat to Manchester United, we are still the top best defensive team in the league. Only conceded 20 goals this season, which is huge. Of course, we did actually manage to net the one against United, which of course affects them. So there's the City lineup, pretty straightforward. Mangala in the City defence is actually a very standard team, and in fact, there's no really Enes Unal and Rulli on the bench. Are only the real changes to a stand-up City lineup. So it looks like they haven't been that effective in the transfer window. I do recall though that when we played them last time, I think they fielded most of their second sides. They definitely didn't have the likes of Joe Hart in goal and stuff like that. I think Seamus Coleman was there in defence. Here's our lineup then. A couple of changes for us. Scott Malone comes in at left back. Floyd Aite comes in at left midfield, and also Lansbury drops out the side for Johansson, who doesn't get a lot of game time. He's kind of like our backup rotation player, so we can sort of throw him in for this fixture. Still a very good player in my opinion, and we can throw him in for fixtures like this where we need to look at resting certain players. So those are the two team lineups we'll be looking. This would be a very different game to the reverse fixture where we did pick up all 3 points. Of course, they didn't even field their strongest side, and they are at home as well now, Manchester City. So could struggle here, but we'll be looking for 6 points here. Looking for 3 points here today. Here's Hosabed. Where's he going to go with it? He's going to play it back to Johansson. So up top to Kenny. Good run being made by Bunuel. If he can just squeeze through the gap. I think he's got the strength to hold off Aguero. Who actually commits a foul there, Aguero, which is strange. I thought he probably won the ball there, to be honest. We'll let Kenny just float this one into the middle. It's a little bit out wide, but Cabana will almost get there. Aite has actually won it, and in the end it's fallen down to Johansson and it's gone in the back of the net. I was hesitating there because I'm not quite sure how that went in, but somehow Johansson's just found a load of space and it's gone into the back of the net, and within 17 minutes here we take the lead against Manchester City. Not the best of replays, and yeah, great. Can't really see anything from that angle. The ball just bobbled up in the air, and it was a very poor corner by it was a very poor free kick by Kenny. Aite went to head it, just sort of headed it up. It then fell to, I think it was a Luco, I'm not sure, and I think the defender actually really won it, and it just drops for Johansson, and he just fires it home. His second goal in the Premier League. We're 1-0 up here. We'll have to wait a little bit longer to take the gap closer, but I think if the game in hand is against Villa, it's going to be a must-win game for us there if we want to grab back our second spot, and it will help, particularly if Arsenal drop points today, and if we can hold on to all three here. And we'll try that with Hozabed inside to Cabano on the turn, and what an absolutely fantastic goal that was. It's exactly what I wanted to do, believe it or not. I wasn't too sure if I wanted to, well, I wasn't too sure if I was going to get it to Cabano or Aluka, who were both in good positions in the box, as you can see. But in the end, it was just Cabano who dropped off his man. Poor defending, really. I think, is that John Stones who was covering him? Company was holding on to Aluka and tracking him very well, and Cabano just peeled off from John's. It was actually Seamus Coleman, interestingly enough. I don't quite know where John Stones has got to then. Very strange, but Cabano tucks home, and we're absolutely flying here at the Etihad. Cabano's fourth, and we're 2-0 up. Interesting. I think John Stones isn't even playing for City today. He's of course on the bench, so that's why he wasn't marking us for that second goal, and that's why it was Seamus Coleman as David Silva. He's really got to be doing a lot better than that. These final few minutes here of the second half, final few minutes of the first half, just before the second half, are going all of City's way. 3 minutes, I believe, have been added on. They have, and we've just got to be a little bit careful. Unfortunately, that will be the last action. So Silva really had a chance there, but a great start from us. Johansson tucked away following a free kick inside 17th minute. And then in about the 35th minute mark, I think it was, a great finish by Cabano. Good pass inside to him, turns on his man, knocks it home. 33rd minute it was. City had a chance with Silva then late on at the end of the first half, but couldn't capitalise on it. And at half time, it's Manchester City 0, Fulham 2. So just looking at some of the results around the grounds there, Chelsea and excuse me, struggled to get the word out there. Try that again. Chelsea and Stoke are actually playing each other, which could be big for us. We'd like a draw, or a Stoke win actually wouldn't be too bad. A Chelsea win wouldn't be great, but a draw would actually be really nice. You can see Leicester are level with Arsenal. We'd definitely like Arsenal to drop points. United are beating West Brom, and you'd have to say if they don't really drop any points there, they're probably going to be victors of this season's trophy, of this season's Premier League. No changes at half time then. I have to be a little bit mindful. We've got Villa next, but probably going to be looking to play a full rotation side against Villa, minus the starters here, and the people that dropped out for today's game will come in. So in theory, I don't really want to make too many subs, and as long as the score stays at 2-0, I won't really need to make any substitutes. So I might make some late on, but quite happy so far. And if we can get a third hit, because Aite and Hozabed is in, and we've just absolutely ripped Manchester City to shreds there, and Hozabed will grab yet another goal in this absolutely fantastic season for him that he's having here this year at Fulham. And with some nice little passing, Aite into Aluko, into Hozabed, into the back of the net. Job done here at the Etihad, because it's now 3-0, and you'd have to say there's no way back here for City. Here's Kenny out wide. He's going to try and stick this one up. Handball by Delph. It's going to be a penalty kick here. And our last few penalties that we've had have been going in our favour. And we've got another one here. I think we might have missed one of our last three, I think it was. We had about 3 in quick succession. It might have been 4 actually. And I remember we knocked a couple away, and then we did miss one. So a change before the penalty kick. Bakary Sagna comes on. So defensive change being made by City, which when you're 3 potentially looking at the verge of 4-0 down, why would you do that? But hey-oh, it is what it is. And I'm actually tempted to let Hozabed take this. I appreciate his penalty stats are terrible, but he's just in good scoring run here, and we'd like that to carry on. And so we'll do that. I was actually very tempted to go down the middle there, but Joe Hart didn't move, and at the last minute I decided to tuck it over into the left-hand side of the goal, went to the keeper's right. Joe Hart stayed where he was, and Hozabed tucks away his second. And we are in cruise control here at the Etihad. 4-0 now. Eventually finds De Bruyne. I think De Bruyne's going to take a shot here. And in the end it does finally ruin a perfect day. We've lost our clean sheet but 9 minutes to go, won't matter too much really. It's a shame because that also will affect our defensive record. Of course, United currently holding a clean sheet, I do believe, so they'll close that gap by 1. I think we were 2 or 3 ahead of them. We'd only conceded 20. That's our 21st goal that we've conceded this season. Thanks to De Bruyne, his 8th in the league. It's now 4-1. City are coming forward again. That's not a very good ball. Intercepted by Ream. And it was a dodgy clearance by Ream. But boos ring around the Etihad. It has been a dismal performance by Manchester City. They're 11th in the Premier League. They fielded their strongest 11 out there today. And we absolutely gave them a beating. Fantastic effort for us, though, to bounce back from that defeat to Manchester United. Hopefully, Arsenal eventually lost to Leicester City and we were able to close the gap. Great performance for us today. We've picked up all 3 points here. It's finished Manchester City 1, Fulham 4. So then we take a quick look around. Arsenal went on to drew with Leicester, so they grabbed 1 goal back in the end. United, of course, did go and beat West Brom, but we still closed the gap on Arsenal. We'll take a quick look at what that means. So we're now just 3 points behind, and with a game in hand. I think our goal difference is probably better than them. Madl isn't very happy with his role at the club, but at 30 years of age, not a lot I can do about that. Quick training session, and we move on to our midweek fixture against Aston Villa. Hopefully, I'm wondering if this is our game in hand. We probably won't be too short until later on. Sobey would like to discuss his wages, so I'll quickly go and look at that and see what he's after. Contracts, not too many contracts to worry about at the minute. Sobey still has 2 years on him, but wants a 2-year deal still. A 2-year extension, sorry. And wants 35,000. That's fine. We've got quite a bit of wage budget now, so we're not too bad with that. And I'm going to drop that down a little bit. We'll keep him a crucial first-team player because, of course, he has been our starting left winger this season. He's done very well for us. So we shall advance. We've got the game against Aston Villa. I might go and... We've got Everton a couple of days later, actually. I don't need to look at that. So I do know that we've got Everton a couple of days later. That's probably going to be a tougher test than Aston Villa. So I'm probably looking to rotate the side a little bit, give some players some rest. So I shall go and do that, and I'll see you at the start of the game. So then, we are here at Villa Park for this Premier League fixture. Of course, a test of what is... A quick look at what is to come in the FA Cup semi-finals, where we will be playing Aston Villa. That one played on sort of neutral ground at Wembley. You can see Villa are actually dropped back into relegation at the time being. They're down in 18th. Because they've also only played 29 games, as have we, and most of the teams around us have played 30, I'm assuming. I'm going to go with that this is our game in hand. Iheanacho, a player to watch apparently. He's scored 6 goals in 23 appearances this season. I think that's just in the Premier League. Although, I don't know, he's played 23 Premier League games? Not quite sure on that one. Myself, that might just be in general, so 6 goals in 23 is not the best. Quick look at the Aston Villa lineup. They've of course got Subotic in defence. St. Graven's actually not a bad player. Tommy Alfick on the bench, Ashley Westwood on the bench. Jordan Vera too as well isn't too shabby. I've rotated the side a little bit, as you'll probably be able to notice. The few guys who sat out against City, of course, are starting, and then the rest of the team has been rotated, looking to that Everton game at the weekend, where I'm going to guess is going to be a bit more of a tougher test than this midweek fixture against Villa, but we still need to get some points here. So Fredericks, Ree, Madl, Odoi's defence, Lansbury, Parker, Rossi, Sobey and McDonald in midfield, Iheanacho in defence, and then those are the substitutes. So I've dropped Johansson onto the bench, so Cabano misses out altogether, gives him some fully rest time. I was tempted to leave Hozebed behind, but I thought if we need to grab a goal, why not bring him on? He's probably going to be the most impactful substitution. So he remains on the bench, but Johansson, thanks to his goal in the previous fixture against City, he gets a spot on the bench. Graham Scott is the man in charge. So, live here from Villa Park, we shall need all 3 points here today. Fredericks, I've just given it away again. This time it's to St. Graven though, and St. Graven's found loads of space, and he's got to be doing a lot better than that. I'm sorry, but you've got to be putting that on target there. I don't know how he's just got through us all there. Not quite sure what the defender is, and it's sort of, I think it just bobbled up for him. And he looked to take it on the half volley, and he just completely miskicked it. So you can see why Villa are down in relegation if one of their main players is going to be hitting balls like that. Unfortunately, that was a poor throw and a poor kick, and we get ourselves a throw in. But we could do with the we've given it away again. Sink grabbing. And this time they're through, and this time they are going to score. What am I doing? Playing terribly here, and I don't get it. Just as we pumped City 4-0, 4-1 in the end, my passing has been absolutely shocking. And again, I don't quite... What is that for a pass? This time Sinkgraven does a lot better to give the ball up, and the number 10 there, who is that up front? Oh, it's that Adair player or whatever his name is. This time he does a lot better to keep his cool. Aldair nets his third goal in the Premier League, and at the stroke of half-time, Villa have taken the lead. And that will be half-time, so a very, very disappointing half. I don't understand how I can go from playing so well against City to playing absolutely trash here. Villa aren't really playing that well. Don't get me wrong, they've been very well defensively, and they're playing very high-pressure football, pressing a lot onto players, not giving much time and space, but I keep passing them the ball when we get good positions, and finally it led to us conceding a goal. So half-time here at Villa Park, it's Aston Villa 1, Fulham 0. So just as you can see there, Everton level with Chelsea, Leicester beating City, Spurs in fact are another team we need to be careful for. They're currently picking up 3 points against Reading, and with us losing here to Villa, I can't remember what the gap is with us to the likes of Spurs and Chelsea, but with us not winning, with not having any points so far in this game, Spurs could start to close the gap on us. So no opportunities there to get anything. Here's Rossi. Iheanacho out wide to Rossi. Rossi's made some space. Now can Rossi whip another ball in? This time he can. Oh, and Odoi. You've got to do a lot better than that, my fella. What is he doing there? Half an hour to go. That is a wonderful effort, and he's just gone. And the goal's sort of over there. Not quite sure what that's all about, mate. Not even sure why you're up here. Get back in defence, bud. We don't want to be conceding any more goals. We have got to push forward, though. But we've got to take our opportunities. We need some fresh legs on the field of play. We need the reason why I kept Hozabed on the bench. Although that is nice. McDonald's got to do something with this. Oh, I thought he scored. I don't know how he got the shot away. He had like 3 defenders around. You can see what I mean about this high pressing from Villa. 2 defenders, both Richards and Subotic was there. And just rushed his shot. And as the ball goes out of play with 25 minutes to go, we are going to have to make a change. Or 3, really. So I'm going to... The 3 changes will be Aluko. This is a bit of pet. In fact, not Aluko. We'll keep Iheanacho up there. We're going to go 2 changes. We're going to go Hozabed for McDonald, and Parker can come off for Johansson. And just hopefully that will instrument something here. But we'd need to grab ourselves a goal quick, because we'd like all 3 points here. Now Iheanacho, show me why I left you on the pitch. Nice into Lansbury. Got to get them on target. That's our first real decent opportunity. There was plenty of time and space for Lansbury. I didn't even hit it first time because I wanted to make sure he got a good shot away. So took that touch, and we had the time to take the touch, and still just fires it over the bar. 18 minutes now remain. Still desperate for a goal here. 3 minutes to go though. Jack Grealish is going to hold the play up here. Is Westwood, and I think back to Grealish. That is going to be that. Just as we started to make headway back up to challenge the top, we've suffered a huge defeat here at Aston Villa. Villa weren't even that great, which is why it was only 1-0 in the end. We were a little bit better in the second half, but that first half performance was absolutely shoddy. Every pass we were playing was going straight to their player. They couldn't capitalise on it until Aldair in the 45th did. In the second half, we didn't really create that many opportunities, and when we did, we didn't really have a shot on target. So very, very disappointed there. That was our game in hand, and we've thrown away a huge 3 points. It's finished Aston Villa 1, Fulham 0. And yeah, well, you can see by the match stats there, we had 6 shots, which we usually have a couple more than that, and we had 1 on target. Our passing accuracy at 84%. While that doesn't seem that bad, that is what let us down, and in the end it cost us the game because we passed it straight to them for the goal. Chelsea won, Spurs won, City lost to Leicester, but that doesn't matter too much. Liverpool also won, and they're all teams starting to hunt us down. So that is not very good at all. We'll advance forward to the Everton game. But as you can see, if you've just had a quick glance in the bottom right-hand corner, some international offers by... No, Sobi's accepted his contract. But yeah, as you can see, if you have a glance in that corner, we've slipped to 4th, despite that very, very successful victory against Manchester City. That loss to Villa has hit us hard here. So that's going to be the end of today's episode. Here's how the Premier League table looks with just 8 games to go now. Manchester United are 6 points clear, and you'd have to say pretty much have one hand on the trophy now, if not both. A decent goal difference as well. Arsenal are still in 2nd on 54 points. Spurs now have gone ahead of us thanks to that defeat by us to Villa, and they've gone up to 52 points. They're just 2 points away from Arsenal. It's very close here, but we've now slipped down to 4th, and we're only 4th because of our goal difference. We've got 6 goals in our favour, but if results don't go our way and we don't start picking up points here towards the back end of the season, Chelsea are going to... Why has it done that? Chelsea are going to kick us out of that spot, and then Liverpool are also level. So 4th, 5th and 6th, only 2 of us can get European football. One of us can get Champions League, one of us Europa League. The other will have to settle for nothing, and we're all on 51 points. The only thing in our favour at the minute is that nice big goal difference, but particularly at the 10 in favour of Liverpool. So there you go. Stoke then, just off the pace a little bit further in 7th, Watford 8th, Palace 9th, and Sunderland 10th. West Ham, they're in 11th. Man City, as you can see, really under a lot of pressure there, down in 12th. Everton, who we have next, are in 13th. Leicester up to 14th. That win for Villa. They started the day in relegation. They've jumped up now to 15th. That was huge for them as well. Swansea drop to 16th, and West Brom on the cusp. It's very, very close for that final relegation slot, which is currently occupied by Southampton. They're on 30 points. Burnley have played an extra game, and they're only on 27 points. And of course, Reading are still bottom on 21. So that really, what I thought was going to be a successful episode, has turned out quite badly. We thumped City 4-1. And we finished the day with our European football slot being threatened. So, hope you guys did enjoy. Be sure to drop a like on the video if you did. Why not subscribe as well if you're new around here. And until next time, goodbye.